Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Greetings everybody, guys. Let's take a look again at the gold market. So currently on the first glance, the situation on the daily gold is changing very slowly, and it seems that it's not really big objects for discussion right now. But actually gold market right now stands at the eve of the really big changes, and they will become really like the bomb. So this will be very important, and in fact the patterns that we could get here in market is forming could really provide the direction for a long-term perspective on the gold market. Today, guys, in weekly research we have provided the view of most careful predictors of the gold market. Very good analysis on the gold market is Mr. Barnabas Gan. He works in Singapore, so and he has predicted very well the bottom of the gold market in December 2016 is around 1050 area. So as you understand, we do not just treat any person as some kind of the guru, or we stand away from any mystery around his predictions, but mostly we look at the core, at the background that he provides as explanation of what he see in perspective of the gold market. And he thinks that the 2017 will be a really tough year for the gold. He thinks that no really new trend will be started, and during the year gold market mostly will stand flat in a wide range. So actually it should remain in an area between the 1050 and 12 even area. So for the first quarter his forecast stands at the 1175 area. That in general corresponds with the moments that we see, because we know that Fed will start will continue our rate hiking policy. And if in December mostly it's were spoken about 2 rate hikings, now the new speeches stands around the 3 rate hikes. Also, according to the Phantom Consulting analysis that we also has provided in our weekly research, they think that the markets currently underestimate the number of rate hikings in 2018. So they think that should be 4 rate hiking, while market mostly anticipates 2 rate hikings. So that's why, as you can see, this background is not really very supportive to the gold market. And our long-term view mostly stands around reversal patterns. So these patterns could be formed for years. So the head and shoulders pattern that we're looking at on the monthly chart, so I even could show you this monthly chart, monthly analysis. You can see this is head and shoulders pattern. It was forming since the February or even early in the June of the 2013. So 3 years was spent to form this pattern. Also, one of the scenarios that we are suggesting right now is that could become not the head and shoulders, but it could become double bottom. And this mostly corresponds to what Mr. Gan also sees on the gold market. That's why here I would like to return back to the daily analysis. All patterns that we have talked about in the last week, they are all correct. I mean that we will be watching for this rally as the background for the possible Jordan Apple pattern, because market could form here, say, a double repo pattern or Brand or something of that sort. It's interesting. Also, this engulfing pattern that stands in the resistance, so it's also interesting. But guys, these patterns are tactical, so we could trade it. We could do not trade it, so we could take in some fast returns, fast profit on this trade. But these patterns has really low relation to the big picture that we see. That's why on the daily chart, guys, the major pattern that we will be watching for is the big reversal pattern. For example, I just will show you some give you some hints. First of all, that could become the first swing of the butterfly pattern. And if you will measure the extensions of this pattern down, you will see that particularly the butterfly could finalize at 1050 area. This could finalize the bottom of the double bottom pattern on the monthly chart. It's also 1050 area. Maybe this will not be the butterfly. Maybe it could turn later to the head and shoulders, so the head could be formed. Maybe it will be the first swing and the free drive pattern or something of that sort. But we on the daily chart will be watching for really large pattern, reversal pattern that could take for a few months to be formed. That could become important. That's the major pattern that we are watching here. Speaking of this rally, guys, we think that's really poor foundation stands behind of this rally, because no SPDR fund inflows stand behind this rally. No speculative purchasing based on the Committee of Traders report. By the way, in today's Committee of Traders report, we see the growing of the short positions. Also, we think that the driving factors that stand behind this rally now is housing. So mostly this is Trump inauguration, so keeps investors tight and expectation of some uncertainty what really could happen, so some risk around this inauguration. So that's why it keeps demand for the gold in the short-term perspective. But as these factors starting to is housing, we think that really market could turn down, and finally in the next week maybe we will get some patterns. So of course we will not take it in position before we will get the clear patterns, but we will watch over it. And taking into consideration that maybe this rally indeed was the artificial, be prepared, be aware of really fast collapse. If this really so as we have suggested, this really drop could be really fast. That's what we have on the daily chart, guys. But at the same time, on this really massive and important background of the long-term patterns, we still will be watching for this rally and for possible Jordan-Appler pattern. On the follow time frame chart, guys, we see some signs of weakness here. So first, it was broken down the channel on Thursday, so we have discussed. Second, take a look that market really has some problems with the upward continuation. So market wasn't able neither to return back inside of the channel nor even to hold above the minor 618 resistance. So on the inauguration speech was not sufficient to push gold market high, and market stuck below 1210 area. So on the common week, here you could even recognize some kind of the steep head and shoulders pattern, but it's not really a big deal around this pattern. The most important things that we will be watching for are, first is a drop below the weekly pivot support one. Second, drop below the 1190 lows. If market will complete these two issues, that will be a clear sign that retracement up, this rally is over. Because market will break the tendency of the high lows and high highs. Market will drop below the weekly pivot support one, and by this it will prove that it's not just minor retracement with the long-term action, but this is really reversal. And maybe we will get some pattern, maybe some great and shoulders pattern will be formed here. That will give us a chance to take the short position. Maybe, as I said, some breaking of these lows will provide us the pattern on the daily chart, maybe double ripple, for example, something of that sort. That's what we'll be watching for on the common week on the gold. Unfortunately, right now we do not have any reasons to take the short positions immediately, since no patterns have been formed yet. And take position here blindly is really not a good idea. So that's all for gold market right now, and really you could read our weekly research to understand how it's a really important moment for the gold market right in the current stage, and what really big patterns could be formed here.